Take a look at these designer Dollar Tree Christmas tree hacks. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up a pack of metallic balloons. Blow them up till they're about medium size and they resemble large ornaments. Use them to fill in gaps in your tree. Grab some of this mesh ribbon from Dollar Tree. It comes in a bunch of different colors, so pick one that matches your style. Cut a piece and gather the corners together and twist them. Tuck these into gaps in your tree to make it look full. Let's create a tree collar to cover up the base of this tree. I picked up a Dollar Tree laundry basket and then grabbed some of this chunky soft yarn. First, I want to cut the top off of this, so I just grabbed a box cutter and this cuts really easily, just go nice and slow. Then I want to cut down the side so this whole basket can open up. I'm going to take a piece of yarn and glue it vertically from the top to the bottom of the laundry basket. I'm going to space this out evenly around the entire basket. Now I'm just going to take this yarn and weave it in and out of the slats on the laundry basket. And I'm going to alternate each row so it really looks like a woven basket. Once the entire basket is woven, I'm going to add a piece to the bottom and a piece to the top just as to finish it off so I don't see any of that plastic. Now to add this to my tree, I'm just going to pull it open. The plastic is nice and flexible and wrap it around the bottom. I have a beautiful, cozy looking tree collar. So there's 3 ways that you can dress up your Christmas tree this year using supplies from the Dollar Tree.
Today, I'm grabbing a bag of cement mix and a pair of latex gloves. Back at the shop, I mixed up a small batch of cement, just enough for both gloves. The key is getting the right consistency. You want it to feel like pancake batter, smooth enough to pour, but thick enough to hold its shape. I spoon the mix into each glove, working it down into the fingers. Then I set the gloves inside the bowl after tying them off to give that natural curve, just like they're gently cradling. A few taps on the table helped release any air bubbles, but then it was time to wait. I let the cement cure overnight so it could harden completely. The next day came the fun part, peeling away the gloves. I took my time cutting them open, bit by bit, so I didn't chip any of the fingers. As the rubber peeled away, the detail really came through. You could see every wrinkle and curve of the hand. It's amazing how something as simple as a glove can capture that much texture. Before painting, I gave both pieces a solid coat of primer. Primer's important. It seals the surface and gives the paint something to grab onto. I let that dry for a few hours to make sure it cured completely. Then came my favorite step, color. I went with a rich gold paint that instantly turned plain cement into something special. The gold will really pop under any Christmas lights, and it gives the piece a warm, festive glow. 2 coats later, they look like something straight out of Santa's workshop. Before setting the plate in place, I used my silhouette machine to add a funny saying across the top. A little holiday humor to make the decoration stand out and bring a smile to anyone who sees it. Once the lettering was finished, I set the plate right into the palms. No glue, just perfectly balanced. It honestly looked like Santa himself is holding it out, ready for a few cookies, maybe even a sip of milk. And that's it. From a bag of cement and a pair of gloves to a handmade gold centerpiece to steal the show on any Christmas table. It's simple, creative, and sure to make everyone smile when they see it.
You'll need 2 punch bowls that have some cool texture designs on the side, plus a condiment cup or some sort of round bowl. The first step is drilling holes into your punch bowls and condiment cups. You only need to drill holes in half of the pieces, and I'm using, once your holes are drilled, it's time to add some color. I took my punch bowls and condiment cups outside for a coat of spray paint. I dug into my paint stash and chose a bright green for one ornament and a muted olive green for the other. Once the paint was dry, I wanted to give these ornaments a bit more dimension and that extra holiday sparkle, so I grabbed my trusty gold rub and buff. I squeezed just a tiny amount of the rub and buff onto a dry foam brush and lightly brushed it over the raised textures on the side of the punch bowls. This gives the ornament some really beautiful depth. I used gold string, folded in half, and threaded it through the holes that I had drilled earlier. A toothpick really helped me push the string through the hole. Once the string is in, use hot glue to secure that condiment cup to the top of your punch bowl, and then knot the loose ends of the string underneath, and there you go, a perfect hanging loop for your ornament. Next up, it's time to put everything together. I applied hot glue around the entire edge of one punch bowl and then pressed the second punch bowl on the top to create a round ornament. I found some cute greenery springs that I already had in my holiday decor stash and hot glued them on the top of the ornaments for that final touch. This really brought everything together and gave these ornaments a really festive flair. These are perfect for your front porch or really anywhere you want to display them in your home. These turned out really pretty, don't you think?
You won't believe what I made out of a cardboard box. I cut up my latest Amazon box to create a symmetrical design with 2 triangles or peaks the same size, each separated by a rectangular piece. I cut out window and door shapes and found it easiest to cut from the backside to create a clean finish. Then I outlined everything with a white acrylic paint marker and added a few extra embellishments. I assembled it into a house using hot glue, then measured and cut 2 roof pieces. Once glued on, I decorated the roof with white acrylic marker, placed some fairy lights inside, and I have the cutest gingerbread houses. These make great kid-friendly holiday decorations too.
To start this project, I want to remove the fabric from all of the lampshades I've collected. I'm going to do this to all the lampshades I want to use for this project. I also want to sand down this pole. I found this at the dollar store and it was just a broom handle. To make sure the lampshades will slide over the pole, I need to remove the center rings from each one of them. In order to secure the pole, I've picked up a bucket of pre-mixed concrete. I'm just going to slip the concrete into a larger bucket for support and then push the pole right down into the center of the bucket of concrete. While I love the shapes of the frames, I want to paint them and give them a more natural look. Now that the concrete is dry, I'm going to place the entire bucket and pole into a beautiful old crock that I have. To space out the lampshades and keep them in place, I'm going to put the lampshade over the pole and then mark where I'd like it to hang. I'm going to use that mark to add some hot glue to the back of the pole, and then I'm just going to wrap this twine around about 4 or 5 times and then keep it in place with some more hot glue. To finish off the tree, I'm going to add some little copper lights. I really love how thin the wire is, and it makes it super easy to wrap around the lampshades and the pole. I'm just looping them in and out around the lampshades, and that'll be enough to keep it in place. I absolutely love how pretty this lampshade tree turned out. It fits perfectly into a small space and looks magical lit up.
Looking for a great way to add a touch of ambiance to your holiday table? Begin by taking your clear plastic ornaments and removing the top. Fill the ornament with a good dollop of paint in the color of your choice. Pour in about a 1/4 cup of water. Replace the ornament top and carefully swirl the mixture together, being sure to cover all areas of the clear plastic. Leave this overnight to dry. This will create a fun marbled glass effect for your oversized ornaments. Next, screw your hooks into the ceiling. You want to ensure they are centered to your table for the next step. Add 2 looped ribbons so that you can easily slide through your base for the hanging. I had an old piece of wood molding laying around that was perfect for this job. Thread each ornament with your ribbon. I chose to make my larger ornaments all of the same height, but you can arrange it however you'd like. With a pattern in mind, begin tying your ornaments to the stick in the pattern of your choice. To add some variety, I selected an assortment of ribbon lengths for the smaller ornaments. Once you are happy with the placement of your hanging ornaments, grab your garland or greenery and begin to wrap this around the majority of the stick. If you're going for more of a woodsy look, feel free to leave more of the natural stick showing through. There you have it, a beautiful hanging centerpiece to truly take your holiday dinner to the next level.